If you could change any choices you have ever made, would you? You can always make another choice and change the course of your success. Everyone has the potency to make inspired choices. Get ready to listen, share, and experience the creativity that is you. Now, here is the host of Inspired Choices radio show, Christine McIver.
Welcome, everyone, to the Inspired Choices show. I am your host, Christine McIver, and tonight we've got I'm just going to tell you, you better get ready, because I'm going to be kicking some butt tonight. I am in a mood. Who else out there is in a mood? I'm telling you, we are going to have a tough conversation. And tonight's conversation is going to be all about the cost of not celebrating others' success. Who out there do you know? And maybe it's you that you're feeling like other people aren't celebrating your success. Well, we're going to dive deep into the cost of this, the impact of this, the impact on you, the impact on your business, the impact on your creations, the impact on your emotions, the impact on your body. We're going to talk about that for you as someone that's not having people celebrate your successes and you not celebrating other people's successes. This is a big topic that most people don't talk about. Well, guess what? I do. So welcome, everybody. I am Christine McIver. I am the host of the Inspired Choices show, and I am also the owner and CEO of the Inspired Choices Network. So I'm really grateful that you're here, everyone that's joining us in the chat room, everyone that is listening live, and if you're listening in the replay, thank you for choosing. Thank you so much for choosing. So you can catch all of our shows on over 220 platforms, both audio and video. We do TV as well. And you're going to be seeing a lot more about the TVs coming out really, really soon. But what I want to tell you about myself, if this is the first time that you're connecting with me, or maybe it's not, maybe you've been connected with me for a while, one of the biggest things that I do is I talk about sometimes the uncomfortable things. I have those straight up conversations. I'm not afraid to have courageous conversations. That wasn't always the case, but now I can see much broader at what the real impact can be when we don't have those conversations, when we do avoidance like crazy. It actually is so costly to each and every one of us. I work with individuals, especially entrepreneurs who are looking for something more in their business, who are looking for something greater in their business, and to do it with pleasure. How many of you out there would love to have pleasure in your business? Well, that's something that I do with my entrepreneurs, and this is something that I love to do, and I'm very great at it. So until, can you give me 1 second? Just give me 1 second. I have something that's trying to call me, and it's so funny. How many of you, when you're in your creation mode, have people pop in and want to connect with you when you're trying to create, right? We are all about having creation absolutely expand, but what's most important is for you to also be very, very present. So I'd like for each and every one of you to be very present tonight with me and talk with me and really lean in with what we're going to be talking about, because this, to me, is an incredibly important subject. So the cost of not celebrating others' success. One of the most important stages of creation, we're going to talk about creation, the stages, but one of the most important stages of creation, and most definitely continued creation, is celebration. Have you ever considered what impact or cost it is to do your business if you are not celebrating other people's success? The cost is much greater than most people can imagine. In a world where all things are energy, what are you choosing when others are celebrating and you're not joining them? Did you know that it can have a critical blow to your own success? Now, if you have any questions or comments that you'd like to make, join us at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. Click on the chat room on the menu bar and just put your name in and come on in and make a comment. If you'd like to ask me a question live, our producers will guide you into the recording studio where we will unmute you and you can ask me a live question. I'd love to hear your questions. I'd love to hear your comments. We're always here at the Inspired Choices Network. We're always looking to connect with our listeners so that we can create where you're needing contribution. How cool is that, right? All right, let's dive into this. The very first thing that started to come into my mind, first of all, let me just tell you a quick backstory. I have a client who has been creating for some time. And this client is a quiet creator. One of those people that that they're just over there doing their thing and they're not really out there a ton. And where some other people, it's like, quiet down, like you're out there a lot, right? And what would it take to have a beautiful balance? Anyways, this particular client has been creating and definitely showing up in the world and reached a really big milestone just a little while ago, a few weeks back. And it was one that just brought tears to my eyes because I knew what a really, really big deal it is. It just like imagine yourself, you got that big speaking gig that you've been desiring, or you wrote that book and it's finally been published and it went on the bestseller list, or you sold one of your new priced packages that you were so afraid to price it that high that you thought no one would ever choose it, and you want celebration, you want to share that joy. It's like, I remember, how many people remember when the Inspired Choices Network app actually launched? I know the exact date because it was so important to me. So it was actually created on March the 17th, 2021, and we launched it 1 month later on April the 17th, 2021. And on March the 17th, when it was created, now there was fine tuning, that's why it took another month before we actually launched it out there. But when that actually came to fruition, when it was ready, I was jumping up and down like a little child. I was celebrating. My body was celebrating. My being was celebrating. I wanted to shout it from the mountaintops because it was a really big milestone. It was a huge milestone for me. And it was a huge milestone for the network and for all of the hosts and for all the people who have ever listened to our shows, that they wanted to be able to have us in their phone and on the go. And it was a big deal. And it was so cool. Exactly, Keisha. And yes, of course it was born on St. Patrick's Day, right? Because, I am of Irish descent, so that was a very cool coincidence. And 17 being my birth date number, also another cool coincidence that I celebrated with it. But the point is that I was wanting to celebrate, and I wanted other people to really pick up on the energy of the celebration and what that meant in my journey, in my dreams. And, it's not that easy to really get it for other people, because that may not be part of your dream, but that doesn't mean you can't celebrate with them, right? That doesn't mean you can't rejoice for them. And so when I started to share it with some of my close friends and the team members, they could see firsthand on that very first day, on March the 17th, my joy. It was just exuding through every orifice of my body. And I wanted to share that with them. I wanted to catch that fever. And many of them did. It was a very, very cool day. And then on the day that we shared it with the world, that was also a very cool day. And we had a big party, an online party, because right now we can't all get together. And besides, we have hosts all around the world, so it's kind of hard to get together. But the point of the matter is that the celebration added to other people that were celebrating with me and with the network. So back to this client of mine, who had created something and really hit a huge milestone. What this individual experienced and later shared is that there wasn't a lot of people that celebrated. In fact, they were surprised and kind of, I think, saddened by the fact that a number of the people that this individual thought were friends and certainly colleagues in this organization didn't celebrate. barely celebrated, barely made note of it. And I could feel that. Now, I was celebrating with my client, but I could see the impact on what was going on for that individual. And this is what came out of that show, because I just could see that happening. And at the same time, I could energetically start to perceive what that was actually creating for my client, but also for the people that were choosing not to. So I don't know if you've experienced people not celebrating, or you're aware of yourself at sometimes you're not celebrating with others, but that's really what we want to lean into tonight. So the very first thing that I did when I started to create tonight's show, as I went to the online etymology. So let's do that before we go for our first commercial. So the word celebration was created in 1520, and the definition is honoring of a day or season by appropriate festivals. Okay, so then I went to festivities, sorry, not festivals, by appropriate festivities. Okay, so festivity is a festive celebration or a feast, right? A celebration of good fellowship and generosity. Good fellowship and generosity. Well, that just sent me flying, because how many of us are not being in good fellowship? How many of us are not being generous with our words, with what we're typing or what we're saying, or what we're actually doing in celebration for other people? One second. So what I've been noticing is, it's interesting, we live in online. This is the way many of us are connecting on a regular basis. This is where most of us are getting our news, and there's nothing wrong with any of that. But what I do find is, I have probably on Facebook alone 2,500 people who've asked me to be friends with them. On Instagram, over 1,000, on Twitter, over 1,000, on LinkedIn, probably over 2,000. Many, many people that have asked to connect with me and be friends with me. And it's interesting, the posts that I put up, the things that I share, and what I put out into the world, it's interesting to see people, what they will comment on and what they won't comment on. And it's incredibly interesting to see what people will celebrate with you and what they won't. Now, I know there's algorithms involved. I absolutely know that. But I also know that a lot of people will go by your creations. And what I want to say is, if you're having that experience in your life, I want you to ask your own self, are you going by other people's creation without giving acknowledgement? How many of you are going by and not giving any acknowledgement to someone's creation, to someone's post, whatever they're putting up? And what about actually commenting? What about actually commenting on someone's post, right? When you are going by and it's like, not interested, not interested, not interested, you just, most people are so silent on social media. Tell me what's being created for you when you're just flying by, you're just swiping, when you're flying by other people's posts and you're not commenting. How do you experience this? What is it for you? What is actually happening within you, within your body? Do you get off of social media, get off your computer, get off your Facebook, and you're like, get off your phone rather, and you're just like, that wasn't very much fun. I don't know why I went in there, blah, 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 blah. Are you doing that? Is that ever being created within you? Or are you someone that is genuinely choosing to connect with other people? everything is energy. We absolutely know that every single solitary thing is energy. And when we will honestly acknowledge that what we are actually connecting with and putting out into the world is actually what we continue to create, we will think again. Now, we're up to our first break of the show, and I'm definitely going to be diving in deeper, and I'm going to be kicking your butt. And I really want you to get this, because I want you, all of the listeners tonight, I want you to understand what it is to really connect and be in communion, and how connecting and being in communion can be so generative, can be such a gift to you, to your life, to your day-to-day. There's so many people out there that are sad right now. There are so many people that have the highest, I've never seen the amount of people have this level of sadness and anxiety. Never in my life. And I'm 59 years old, so I've been around a long time, and I've been doing social media for a very long time. This has a contribution in that. The lack of connecting, the lack of celebrating with other people has an impact in this very area of your life. So we're going to dive in deeper. I hope you're going to stick around. I'd love to hear your comments and your questions. Do join me at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. Of course, you can always connect on our app. Just look for Inspired Choices Network on your phone, on your smartphone. You'll find our app there. And let's talk about this. Let's talk about this really, really important subject. All right, my friends, stay tuned. We will be back right after this commercial break.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on our past experiences or what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join Inspired Choices Radio Show with Coach Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know but may not choose that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back and brings all her expertise during each and every show. Are you ready to create the life and the living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices Radio Show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@InspiredChoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
All right. Thank you, my friends. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Tonight, we are talking all about the cost of not celebrating other people's success. So during the first break, I was talking about the definition of celebration, and it actually leads to festival and festivities. And the really big thing that popped up was good fellowship and generosity. So can you honestly say that you have good fellowship and generosity when it comes to other people's successes? So let's take a couple scenarios. Let's talk about a couple of scenarios. Right. Keisha has a good point. She says, makes me think of manifesting. Right? I didn't look that up. I bet you there's some kind of connection exactly to manifest. Of course, that root word is in there. That's so cool. So okay, so let's talk about a couple of examples. Let's say that someone is having a baby. All right. Let's say someone's having a baby, they're pregnant, and how many people, like, the celebrations that are going on are just wild, right? They're wild what people are doing now. And they're, I don't know, in my interesting point of view, really going over the top. I saw somebody that actually had an airplane. They actually chartered an airplane and had the airplane drop a certain color of smoke that signified whether they were having a boy or a girl. Holy, talk about celebrating. Talk about, I think there's a bit of the one-upping going on. And hey, if that makes you happy, cool. But let's just go to the point of people are celebrating that they're pregnant, that they're having a baby. How beautiful is that? How wonderful is that? Most people will celebrate that for someone else because, and I'm saying most, not all, but for most people, someone else having a baby doesn't take away from them having or not having a baby. It's they're over there, they're in their celebration, they're in their glory, that's what they want. They want to have a family, and most people will celebrate that, right? Well, that's awesome. That's fantastic. And most people will also celebrate what else? Most people will also celebrate someone's birthday because we all have them, right? Most people will, if you know someone, you will celebrate and you'll send them wishes, and that's a beautiful thing. You will honestly give them joy and you'll be happy for them. Most people will. There's always going to be exceptions, right? But now let's talk about when people are let's say someone buys a house. Let's say someone is able to, through whatever, a partnership, they've been able to financially purchase a house and they're showing their house. Not everybody's going to celebrate because not everybody, maybe, is able to purchase a house, right? Or a dream car. Exactly, right? So thinking about this, when someone is over here celebrating, and they're celebrating they've bought a house, they're celebrating they have a dream car, what goes on for those that are not celebrating? Well, right away, what pops into my mind is jealousy. They're jealous that that person has something that they don't have. Now, jealousy is a very low energy vibration. It is one of the lowest energy vibrations out there. And jealousy, it can conjure up resentment. It can conjure up anger. It can conjure up people doing unkind things to another person because that person is having joy and celebration in their life. And this is not something new. This has been going on for lifetimes. People have things and then other people come and they actually wreck them. And the only reason is because they're angry that they don't have it and somebody else does, right? Well, first of all, when you're in that space of any level of not celebrating with someone else, you are projecting at that person a feeling of a resentment or angry. And where the actual truth of how you're feeling lies is within you, right? There's no way that someone else having something would trigger you if there wasn't some truth about it being within you that you're angry at you, right? It's like nobody can touch a button if the button's not there, right? You have a button. You have a jealous button. You have an angry button. You have a resentment button. And you are it always starts with you, your relationship with you, because you don't have it. So where are you actually judging you when you are looking at someone else and you have jealousy and you have resentment? Where are you judging within you that you're maybe not good enough, that you maybe haven't done it or maybe you're not gifted, or maybe you just aren't pretty enough, or maybe you're not kind enough, or maybe you're not, like all of these bullshit things that we conjure up in our minds, right? We're buying into lies. We're buying into lies that we can't have it all like other people, right? Now, maybe there are things for you to learn. Maybe you want to have a book, and maybe you want to be a writer, and you don't know how to start, or you don't know how to create the book, or you don't know how to publish the book. There are things for you to learn, right? So you have to be willing to look at what's missing for me to be able to step forward in this area. You know, is it your dream to have a book? Is it your dream to have a house? Is it your dream to be married and have a family? Are these things that you desire, right? If they are things that you desire, it's time to look within you and see where the gap is in what you're desiring. You have a desire and you're not there yet, so there is a gap between a desire and what you are actually wanting to actualize. This is really, really important. It's very, very important that we understand and that we really look at the areas of where we're being triggered. You're being triggered, my friend. When you are not celebrating for someone else, you're being triggered. When someone else is successful, right? Let's say they're successful in their business. I can tell you honestly how many people, I could give you names of many people, probably 50 people easily, that celebrated with me when I launched my own network, the Inspired Choices Network. I know exactly who celebrated with me, who was praising me. And I also know the people that chose not to. I also know the people that stood back and said nothing. But if I had put a post out and not agreed with, let's say, I'll say something provocative, like I put out how I felt about the vaccine, or I felt about COVID, or I felt about whatever controversial topic is out there, if I put it up there and if I put that out there, and I'm sure that more people would comment on that than would actually comment on the creation of the Inspired Choices Network. And yet this was a really big thing. It was a big milestone in the success of my business, of my company, and what I was doing. And this is something that I am so happy that I kept choosing and kept leaning in. Because if I didn't, and I was waiting for confirmation from someone else, if I was waiting for somebody else to acknowledge me before I actually chose it, where would I be right now, right? Now, let's talk about when you're not celebrating someone else, when you're not doing that, and you are, when you are not doing that and you're not supporting other people, what is actually happening for you? Listen, I'm so passionate about this right now. I want to swear, but I don't want to swear. Do you know what I mean? When you are not celebrating with someone else, you're putting an energy out and you're saying, I'm going to keep it real simple. You're saying no. You're just saying no. Okay? Energetically, you are saying no. I'm not celebrating for that person. No. Just the energy of no. All right? And we've had some shows today. Very, very cool. One of the shows today was Dr. Helen Gitlovich. And Dr. Helen Gitlovich does a show called Creating Abundance with Ease. And today I was actually producing her show. And one of the quotes that she had, which was very, very cool, was she was talking about your words and what they create. And I am quoting what she said, okay? But she said, abracadabra means I create as I speak. I create as I speak. Now, here's another thing. Abracadabra is also what you don't say, right? You don't have to be speaking. Energetically, your thoughts are still energy, right? Words are energy, but thought is energy as well. It's already been proven in science. If you don't believe me, go check that out. But your thoughts, when you're looking at someone else that's celebrating and you're saying no, you're telling the universe, no, I don't want celebration. I don't want any of that. You may not be thinking that, But the universe is picking up the no. That's what you are then creating within your own life, within your own business, within your own relationships. You are saying no. Well, oh my gosh, when you're saying no, you're putting up a wall. You're doing push, aren't you? Well, when you're putting up a wall, you're stopping possibilities. You are stopping the energetic flow of creation. My friends, what are you doing? We are creators. We were born to be creators. Whether you're in your own business or not, you're creating every day that you are breathing. And when you are not celebrating with other people, you are not actually creating. You are stopping the flow of creation in whatever it is that you desire to create in your life. Listen, I got a lot more to talk about. We're up to our next break. Holy moly, this goes so fast every time. Stick with me. Please stick with me because I've got a lot more I really want you to be aware of, and I want you to take it away with you so that it creates more joy and more possibilities in your world. And honestly, my friends, this is the last thing I'm going to say before break. Together, we can change the level of sadness and depression and anxiety in the world just by celebrating with one other person each day. That's all it takes. This is not a huge ask from the universe to create greater. This is not a huge ask that I'm asking. And I'm telling you, this can make a gargantuous change. So stick with me, everyone. You are listening to Inspired Choices with myself, Christine McIver, here on the Inspired Choices Network. And we'll be right back after this commercial break.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on our past experiences or what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join Inspired Choices Radio Show with Coach Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know but may not choose that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back and brings all her expertise during each and every show. Are you ready to create the life and the living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices Radio Show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@InspiredChoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Okay, my friends. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Wow. This has been a intense show, but I got so much I want to share with you. This is an important message that I want to get out there, and something that I'm feeling personally and observing a lot. I've been observing it for a long time, didn't even realize what I was observing. So tonight, we're talking about the cost of not celebrating others' successes. So right away, what we were talking about the definition of celebration and how it is really has to do with festivities and good fellowship. And also we started to lean into what's going on for you when you're not, what's happening, what you're actually putting out to the universe, and what you're going to be receiving back. You know, it doesn't cost you one damn fucking penny to celebrate somebody else's success. It doesn't cost you a penny. But if you can't get out of your pride and you can't acknowledge and really look at where you're operating from, when you're not willing to celebrate somebody else's, it is going to cost you. It's going to cost you big time. And, I really do hope that whoever is ever listening out there, you're at the place of self-awareness, that you can hear yourself or you can watch yourself behave and really do a checkup from the neck up and go, hold on a second. When I feel that coming in on me, I'll be like, McIver, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I just kind of give myself a little wake-up call with saying that to myself, because I know the impact of my actions are on me. The impact of my actions are on me more than anybody else. And yet, they can also contribute massively to someone else. Think of a time. It doesn't have to be a colleague. It can be anyone. It can be a friend, a lover, a family member, anybody. Think of somebody that was so excited about something and you celebrated with them. Just tap into that energy. What was going on for you emotionally, intellectually, physically? What was happening in your world? What was happening in your body, right? Check in on that. It's always a contribution for you when you're celebrating someone else. Now, I want you to hear this. I received this today. Does anybody out there receive the daily email from the universe? Tut? Well, this is what came in today, and I went, oh my gosh. It's so oftentimes what I receive comes in. It's phenomenal. So this is what I received today. When you understand, Christine, that what most people really, really want is simply to feel good about themselves, and when you realize that with just a few well-chosen words, you can help virtually anyone on the planet instantly achieve this, you begin to realize just how simple life is, how powerful you are, and that the love is the key. Oh my gosh, how friggin' amazing is that? Love is the key, my friends. So what are you doing with your love, with your contribution, with the capacity that you have to impact another human being? What are you doing with it? Are you wasting it? If you are depressed, if you're frustrated, if you are overwhelmed, it's sometimes really hard to be on social media. There's a lot of insanity out there right now. A lot of people fighting. It's just and I know a lot of people do avoidance of it. And then what a lot of people are doing as well is that they are self-isolating. They don't want to talk to anybody, but then yet they feel alone. They don't want to have interaction, and yet they crave connection. I want to suggest that you reach out and you connect with just one person a day. One person a day. Find one person that is celebrating something and show them a kind word. Share with them how happy you are for them. You can say so many different things, but by doing this, I guarantee you the impact that you give to someone else is going to come back to you, and it's going to grow in you, and it's going to start to push out those sad feelings. It's going to start to let go of and make room for the joy, and let go of the depression, the frustration. And as we were talking about in the very first segment of the show, is that celebration is such a key aspect. It's actually one of the most important aspects of creation, right? There are 4 stages of creation. 4 stages of creation. Did you know that? The first stage of creation is imagination. You get an idea. It comes to you. It's like, oh my God, I just got this great idea, right? And so that just lands at you really, really beautifully, and it starts to explode ideas within your mind. And so these ideas start to come through you. That's the second stage, is actually the creation within your ideas. The third stage is actually putting your ideas into action to create whatever it is that you're desiring to create. That's the third stage. And you're really rolling your creation out to the world. That's a phenomenal stage. And the fourth and the step that closes the loop and makes it solid is celebration. Without celebration, your creation can actually fall flat. It can actually, it's like a balloon. It just loses all its air. Celebration is key. Celebration is key because what celebration does is it gives energy to that creation. You are saying both to yourself and to your creation and maybe to your business that this is important and I'm joyful. I'm giving joy energy to this creation, and that energy is what keeps it going. That's that generative energy that keeps it alive, right? You know what that energy also does? That joy celebration energy, it's kind of like when rings are connected, you know how you can connect rings. If you're watching me on the TV, you'll see I'm holding my fingers, you know how you do that with your first finger and your thumb. You know how those rings, well, what that does is that celebration, that first ring, it actually goes over and creates another ring. It's actually that energy goes into your next creation. It actually goes forward with you. It contributes to your imagination. It contributes to the possibilities. That energy that you are putting out there, that celebration energy that you put out there is you're saying to the universe, yes, yes, universe, yes, celebration, yes, creation, yes, yes, yes. And the universe says, oh, okay, you want more of that. All right, I'll give you more of that. And that's what you end up creating, my friends, is more things that will come to you in creation. When you are celebrating with someone else, the exact same thing occurs. The universe says, oh, Christine, you want more creation. You want more things to celebrate. Awesome. No problem. It doesn't matter whether it's someone else's or it's yours. You're putting the energy of celebration out, and the universe says, okay, I will bring back to you what you are putting out. That, my friends, is what you're missing out on when you're refusing to get out of your own friggin' box that you've put yourself in when you're not celebrating someone else's success. That's what you're doing, is you're cutting off creation, and you're giving the universe the wrong message. You're also stopping you from having a moment of pleasure. What that does to your endorphins, what that does to your adrenals, what that does to your body, what it does to your sleeping, what it does to your eating, what it does to everything about you, your money. Oh my God, it is huge. It is huge. One celebration a day, you can bank on this. You can bank on this bringing you more things to celebrate, more prosperity, more joy. If you need to get more celebration and prosperity into your world, get around somebody that celebrates. Hook into the people that are joyful. Hook into, connect with, talk to. Spend some money in having them teach you, right? Have them teach you how to celebrate you. You, my friend, are brilliant. You, my friend, have things that are desiring to be created through you and celebrated. There's so much bullshit out there about how we're being arrogant when we're celebrating, or, maybe you've been brought up to not celebrate. I think there's a religion that doesn't celebrate even birthdays. Oh my God, that makes me crazy, because I know that joy is contagious. Celebration is contagious. Think of those times when there was celebration around you. I remember in 1992, I think it is, our local baseball team, the Blue Jays here in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, they won. They won the what do you win when you win the baseball? Anyways, they won the whole series. And oh my God, people were out in their cars. Pennant? Okay, cool. They were out in their cars and people were honking and driving and celebrating, and there was so much going on. There was so much celebration. It was one of the most memorable nights of celebration. It was so beautiful. And then when our basketball team, the Raptors, won a few years ago, it was mayhem. It was amazing how much joy was brought into the world through that celebration. Well, we may not have these huge celebrations every day, but I am telling you that this energy is available to you each and every day, and the cost of not celebrating will impact every area of your life. And if you're frustrated with the way that the world is, with the frustration and the anger and the fighting and the anxiety and the sadness and all of that, if you're frustrated, I am telling you, this is a key of how you can begin to change it. Where are you putting your focus? Who are you putting your focus on? Do you dare actually celebrate your own successes? We're going to talk about that when we come back from our third break. Stay tuned, everybody. You're listening to Inspired Choices with myself, Christine McIver, here on the Inspired Choices Network. We got more to bring you. Don't go away.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on our past experiences or what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join Inspired Choices Radio Show with Coach Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know but may not choose that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back and brings all her expertise during each and every show. Are you ready to create the life and the living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices Radio Show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Inspired Choices Show with Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@InspiredChoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Okay, all right. Thank you for being here, my friends. This is an intense show. Can you feel I just needed to get it all out of me? It's just been bubbling up for days and days and days, and even more comes out when I get live on the air. So I'm grateful that you're here, and I'm grateful that you're contributing your energy to getting this message out into the world. You know, one of the things that I love to do is to contribute to others and to be their cheerleader. It really is something that's natural for me, and I hope that I can cheer you on. And if you ever need support, you ever need cheering on, even learning to celebrate or creating your business or learning to be a speaker in the world, please connect with me. You can find me at my website, inspiredchoices.ca. Send me an email. I love to hear from everyone, hear what's going on in their world, where they're looking for support, and let's see if we can actually connect. You can email me at Christine@inspiredchoices.ca, and I will get back to you. Not a bot and not an assistant, me personally. So we've just got a few minutes left into tonight's show. Before I wrap up, I want to tell you next week's show is Stop Waiting for Your Business to Go Back to normal, right? Stop waiting for your business to go back to normal. How many people are scrambling out there just praying things will go back to normal? Well, that's what we're going to be talking about next week. All right, let's wrap up tonight's show. So we've been talking all about celebration and the cost of not celebrating other people's successes, other people's joy. Well, we know, first of all, that it impacts us because we are actually energetically putting out to the universe what we want to have more of. And when we're refusing to celebrate, when we are in judgment of someone else, when we are resentful for what they are doing, we are not actually able to create things in our own lives. When you are in that energy of jealousy, you are only going to create more of that, and you're going to be more and more frustrated. When you are in judgment, when you're in frustration, when you're in jealousy, when you're in any of that energy, you immediately shut the door on creation and definitely stop the flow of abundance coming to you. Abundant ideas, abundant finances, abundant clients. You shut down everything when you are in that energy. So that's why it's so critical for you to do a checkup from the neck up of your own self. You need to be able to be self-aware with your thoughts at all times. And it takes work to hear yourself and really be aware of where you are coming from with your words and with your thoughts. My friends, become a professional at personal development of yourself. And unless you are leaving your body tomorrow, you need to be creating a life that brings you joy every day, not just in the future. So please lean into more personal development. It doesn't take a lot of work each and every day to do a little bit of reading, to do a little bit of listening to books. It does not take a lot. Lean in and gift this to yourself so you're gifting yourself the joy of more creation and more joy and pleasure in your life. Remember that in order for us to really contribute to other people, celebrating with them is one of the easiest things that we can do. Now, I know I'm kind of saving this for the last, but what's so important is that you realize that you are on a planet where there's more than just you. That's number one. Social media is called being social. You're to be social on social media. Don't just go out there and spew what you want to put out to the world and not interact with people. You don't need to be on there for even 30 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day interacting, liking someone's post, and commenting. Don't just like it. It's like you just, yeah, cool, yeah, cool, yeah, cool. Give back something. Make a comment. A couple of comments a day. Contribute to someone else's world. It will contribute back to you. Guaranteed. Okay? This is so important. If you want to change your creation and your joy, give it away. Interact with someone. Be social with someone. Find something each day. And don't just say, hey, I really like this. Say, this is really cool. Like, I like this part of it or whatever. Give something real. I want you to imagine for the next month, whenever you are commenting, that person is right in front of you and you're saying it to their face. Would you just say, that's cool, that's cool, that's cool, that's cool? I see people do that. Come on. Get more creative than that. Speak from your heart, live from your heart, operate from your heart, comment from your heart. My God, my friends, we only get one opportunity to interact in this lifetime. We only have the one life, this lifetime, right? Make it an amazing one. Thank you so much for all of you for being here. Thank you for leaning in and your comments and really for being willing to hear what I had to say, because I think this message is something that's so important for each and every one of us. And until next week, remember, you can always make another choice. Bye, my friends.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Inspired Choices Radio Show. Christine McIver will return next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, be willing to choose what you really desire. This is your life, making the choices that bring you all that you desire.